The Barnabas study. My name is Philip Harrelson, and after a long hiatus, I'm going to start trying to do some more book reviews, and had a lot of remodeling and various things that sort of taken up my time in the last couple of years, but I'm going to get back on track, so see if we can't recommend some books that would be useful and helpful to you. One book that I would like to recommend to you is this book, and it's called Why Holiness, and it's written by Brother Tim Mitchell. And Brother Mitchell recently has passed away. He was a longtime pastor in Montgomery, Alabama. And over the years, he and I had quite a few conversations. Generally, he would talk about preaching the Word, particular issues of holiness. And I bought this book, I think it was at a district conference, and it's probably been 2 years ago or so. And after his passing, I picked it back up again and just began to go back through it and take a look at it. And it's right at 330 pages. And Brother Mitchell did an excellent job with this book, especially coming from, first of all, he expresses some concerns that he has, just in an observation that he's had over the years of having been a pastor in the United Pentecostal Church. And he does express some of those in here, but the chapters, there are, he's got them divided up. There's actually 7 sections that the book is written in, and each section has a breakdown of the chapters in there. And he gets into basic holiness, the nature and essence of God. God's presence requires holiness. Gets into the part about where that the spiritual person, and he deals with the inner aspects of inner holiness, talks about personal convictions, talks about corporate holiness standards, gets into the matter of the judgmental trap, which I felt he did a very good job with that. And then he talked about unity through conformity. And then he gets out to outward expressions of holiness and gets into the matter of the physical person, and talks about how that there should be the distinction in clothing, personal appearance, modesty in dress. Do not desecrate your body. And then he gets into, that's coming primarily from the Old Testament principles, and then he gets to the New Testament principles and comes in to the part of asking, does it really matter in the New Testament church? Is there really a need to be distinctive in difference of just the way we conduct our lives? And I know a lot of times that, particularly in people that are holiness-minded, that a lot of times that can go toward the manner of the way that we dress and those various sorts of things. But holiness is very much more than just that. But he does deal with that, and he deals with it in a very biblical manner. I would just say that I appreciate the fact about how that when Brother Mitchell wrote this book, it is loaded with Scripture. And of course, there's several spots in the book where he does give personal anecdotes and stories from his past. And he gets into the matter. Section 4 is holiness and pleasure. Gets into the matter of addictive drugs. Really goes into kind of an area that is a little, I guess, is a sensitive subject, and that's the matter of antidepressants and other non-essential drugs. Gets into the matter of those that are legal drugs. He deals with alcohol, tobacco, various things. Talks about the cure for drug addiction, and I appreciated his take on that as well. He gets into the area also of the matter of electronic media. And he really kind of focuses in, and this is a concern that I had and have had for quite a number of years, is about the dumbing down and the adverse effects that visual media has on us. And I do know that we read but a lot of times those are social media, just little blitzes and those sorts of things. But just to sit down with a book and meaningfully read through that and think through it, I really think that our age really does not cater to that. We have a lot of TikTok videos, little short things like let's hurry up and get it over with. Even to some degree, YouTube videos that if they're not under a certain amount of minutes, people will watch for a minute, 2 minutes, and then they move on. And again, that's a challenge to our attention spans, which should concern every preacher and teacher that's in the local church. And I know that we use various ways to try to work, especially if you're a teacher or a preacher. I believe that you do have the burden of responsibility on you to work hard to do that. But Brother Mitchell addresses some of that in there. He talks about the internet and about how that people can get addicted to the internet. And you say, well, those things are holiness issues. I believe they are. I believe that not only obviously it affects our inner man, the way that we think, and the more immersed we can get in Scripture, then the greater that it is for us to be able to be involved in areas of holiness. In the second part of that section on holiness and pleasure, he gets into 1 Thessalonians 5:22, abstain from all appearance of evil. And again, he gets into some taboo subjects that are now hardly ever mentioned in our pulpits. And he talks about dancing. He talks about mixed swimming, about going to spas, educational situations, organized sports, certain places of involvement in sports. He talks about gambling. He talks about music. And I think that those are important areas that should be addressed in our manner and our take on holiness. So again, I do think that it's worth your time. And then he gets into the part about moral purity. He talks about the breakdown of the family, the role of the father, the role of a mother. He gets into areas where that the cohabitation myth. He gets into lust and adultery, divorce, gets into sexual dysfunction. And then in section 6, he talks about the matter of ethics, particularly minister and laity relationships. Talks about the perils of success. That's really a big matter of holiness as well. And then he wraps it up in the end and looks back again at the Old Testament and the New Testament, and then gets in to the matter of worship with holiness. I would commend this book to you, and Brother Mitchell did an outstanding job with this book, and I did tell him shortly after I purchased it from him a couple of years ago that it was a worthy investment for my personal library. And then after he passed away, I went back and picked it up and started kind of going back through it again. And so I do think that it would be a worthy investment for you to look into, to purchase, and to add to your church, and I will, or to your personal library. And I will put down in the description below how that you can go about purchasing Brother Mitchell's book. So again, thanks for watching, and until next time, the Lord bless you.